Good morning. Welcome back to a very sunny, hot day on Planet Doug. And it's a bit of an unusual day as well because I'm heading from my hotel in Duma to the port. And hopefully, I already have my ticket and everything, but hopefully I'm getting on a ferry that will take me across the Strait of Malacca to back to Malaysia, though my ferry is going to the town of Port Dickson. And I'm a little bit familiar with this port, the systems there, because I arrived through that port, but I've never actually departed in the other direction. So I don't know what the system is like in terms of checking in my bike and my luggage and going through immigration and customs. It's all going to be a new experience. Got to figure this out as I go. That's my hotel behind me, the Wisma Chamara Dumai. I think Chamara means pine. Very nice low-budget hotel. If you're ever passing through Dumai and you need a low-budget hotel, I can recommend this place. Anyway, time to get on the road. It's about 4 or 5 kilometers to the port. And my ferry leaves at 11. And to my surprise at the company, when I confirmed my seat and paid for my ticket, they told me I had to be there by 10, just an hour beforehand. But anyway, I'm going to be there 2 hours beforehand because I have the bike to deal with and I'm a foreigner. Who knows what could happen? You know, it's always nice to leave a bit of a cushion. So things may go smoothly and I may just be sitting at the harbor for 2 hours, or it may be a big project and I'll be glad to have the extra hour. All right, it's time to go. Getting very close to the dock area where those trucks are turning up ahead. That's the main road that runs alongside the coast where all the industry and shipping ports are. I remember it being quite a shock when I arrived here, when I got out of the dock and found myself in this kind of a tough industrial area, very rough. And all the industry and oil refineries and shipping. And it was extremely hot on that day. I remember how hot it was. I didn't even make it to my hotel before my cameras overheated and stopped working. It's a lot nicer today, a bit overcast. But you still get that industrial feeling though. This whole area, and you can see how the roads are torn up by these big trucks. I wasn't sure where this truck was going to go, so I slowed down. But yeah, these heavy trucks just tear up the roads. And the dock should be just up ahead on my right. That area on the right, that's what most of this area looks like. Again, very industrial. And there's a fair amount of security as well because of sensitivity of all these shipping harbors and docks. Got a couple of big trucks coming up behind me. And I think there's enough room for both of us. Or all of us, I should say. And I think this is the port right here. Welcome to Dumai Port. It's nestled in amongst all the industry. Got a regular parade of trucks coming up behind me. See them there. Just letting them pass. They're all turning into this. There's another shipping port right there. You can see all the trucks are turning in there. think I've got a break in the traffic. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have to pass through security to enter the dock area or not. Welcome to Dubai Port. Hello.
Hi there. Where do you go?
To Port Dickson,
Port Dickson.
Malaysia.
This.
Okay, just through there. Okay, thank you. Well, that was easy. They seemed, I know I'm supposed to pay a tax here, 50,000 rupiah. I don't know what it's for, and then of course I have to pay for my luggage. In Malaysia, they had a nice system, a little bit chaotic, you know, if you don't know what's going on, but outside where you check in to the boat and pay for your luggage, you have it weighed. And I assume that's what's going on right here. Oh no, that looks like a bus that's unloading. All right, here we go. Gotta figure things out. Whew, well, it's so funny. Every time I do one of these things, I approach it with this idea that this time I'm going to go slowly and methodically, and I'm going to keep everything under control, and I'm not going to let anybody rush me. And every time that whole plan just falls to pieces because, yeah, you just enter into this swirling, chaotic environment with people just in your face from all directions. So many people wanting to do things like porters, and you don't know who's who. You don't know whether anyone is official, unofficial. They're grabbing at things on your bike. They're grabbing at the luggage. They're touching you, pushing you, pointing you. Got to go here, got to. And you're like, just like, you know, I got this under control. Like I've got to, you know, I've got things I need to do here. So I know, you know, like there was a counter where you check in for the ferry, and I know I'm supposed to go there. It's like, I know that, but I first need to do something on my bike. I have to unhook my pannier bags. I have to put them inside another bag I have, close that bag, put a lock on it. You know, I've got to sort of secure my luggage and my bike, figure out, you know, what I'm taking on the boat with me, what's checked in baggage. You know, I need to do all these things first. But all these people are just like crowding around me, grabbing things, grabbing bags, moving things around. They're like, no, just, you know, just relax. I know what I'm supposed to do next. But there's nothing you can do. You just get caught up in the whirlwind. And then eventually I found myself at the small desk, and I checked in, and I had to pay 25,000 for the bike. 25,000 rupiah for the bicycle, which struck me as very inexpensive. I thought, really? That's all you're going to charge me for the bike? But I guess I wasn't entirely sure. Nobody really told me what I was paying for. They just told me I had to pay 25,000, so I did. And then I went to get my bike to roll it up to where they weigh the luggage. So I turn around and my bike is just gone. Like there's just nothing there. So someone had grabbed my bike and rolled it. I still had my trailer attached and another bag on top of the trailer. And then they rolled it over towards, like on the other side of the luggage weighing area. But again, I didn't know that was happening. I didn't see it happening at all. And then they were trying to unhook the trailer, which of course is a very specialized piece of equipment. You have to know how to connect and disconnect this trailer. You can't figure it out just by looking at it. So all these guys are crowding on my bike and they're pulling on things and jerking on things and turning things and like, no, just give me a second, let me do that. So I unhook the trailer and then they grab things and they try to bring them over to the scale, to weigh it. But of course, they're not that familiar with the trailer, how to handle it. So of course, they drag it over there in the worst possible way. They lay it down on the scale in the worst possible way. They put it on its side on the wheel, so it could be bending the rim, bending the spokes, or like I'm trying to stop them. I'm trying to take control of the situation, but there's nothing you can do. Just total chaos. Luckily, it didn't stay on the scale very long, so hopefully it didn't damage the wheel. I won't know until I get to Malaysia, and then I get pushed forward to pay. And I've got quite a bit of luggage right now. It's pretty heavy, so it came to 126,000 rupiah to pay for my luggage, like all my bags, my trailer, separate from the bike, came to 126,000, so I paid that. And then, I can't really control my bike and my luggage because I have to go to the counter to pay this. And by the time I turn around again, all these guys, they're trying to get my trailer and reattach it to my bike. And I'm thinking, no, just leave them separate. You can roll my bike there and then you can roll the trailer. I was going to move the wheels of the trailer to the back so that it now can function as a luggage cart. It's really easy to move around, but everybody was moving so fast I never got a chance to do that. And they're trying to attach the trailer to the bike again. And I'm like, no, like, because even if I reattach it for them, they're going to roll it to the boat, but nobody there, they're not going to be able to unattach it. So I'm like, no, you got to keep this separate. That's not how it works. And then by the time they did it, I don't know, it was just total chaos. They grabbed a piece of cable and they took a cable and wrapped it around part of the bike and wrapped it around the trailer and like dragging the trailer behind the bike. And they just took off with everything. And I'm like, for Pete's sake, like, I've said this a million times that when you're bike touring, 90% of the damage that occurs to your bike is always when you put the bike on other transportation. Yeah, it was just total chaos from beginning to end. And I guess this was just part of their job because there were so many men crowding around my bike, grabbing at everything, pushing at everything, and nobody actually asked me for any money. So I'm sort of assuming they're going to want money for all this help that they gave me. They did far more harm than help. But anyway, here's where I am. That's I'm sitting at the window. So that's the dock out there. They're bringing the luggage out to the boat, and eventually I'll be walking along here, heading out to the boat. And this is the seating area. And over there, and I guess they're calling out, so I guess we can go through immigration. I'm going to head over that way and see what's going on. All right, passport, ticket. I've made it through immigration, stamp without any issues. So that worked out well. And you come out here onto the dock. 2 signs, Malacca, Port Dickson. Yeah, that's where these boats go. Wow, look at that. The water is so low here. It's amazing there's enough water out there to float that boat. It's like I can just see the top of the mud flats here. Well, here we are. And there was a man in there speaking with me. He said he knew me from the other boat when I took the boat from Malaysia to here. He remembers me from that boat, and he says that this one is a different one. He told me the name of the one that I took last time, but I don't remember it. Boat is scheduled to leave at 11. It's 10 after 10 right now, so we still have lots of time. as we were moving through the immigration line, I was thinking that there was sort of a time issue, you know, that how are we all going to, it seemed like a lot of people to process through immigration. So I was kind of worried about the time. But then once we started moving, everything went really smoothly. One thing is about 10% of the people in line were all called out. Like they went to the immigration desk and then they were sent to an office in the back. About 10%, maybe 20% of the people. Quite a large number. So a double check who they are, why they're going to Malaysia, I guess. But they didn't worry about me. And here's the boat. It's supposed to have some kind of a Hawaiian name. Okay. Yeah, I don't see the name of it yet. Hello.
Basica.
Yeah, that's mine.
Money. Coffee.
So yeah. Can I? Yeah. So there it all is. Yep. Everything's fine. Everything looks good.
Many. Coffee. Or coffee. Many. All right.
So there it is. My bike, just about ready to get rolled on board. And this is the luggage area. These are all my the porter guys. Thank you. Hello. All right. Ticket. Hello. There they are.
From Canada.
Yeah, from Canada. Canada. That's the luggage area down there.
All right. Bebas.
Thank you. So, I'm inside. It's kind of funny, when I came onto the boat, they had all the different sections roped off. So, like you're funneled like cattle. I couldn't go that way or that way or that way. They had the different sections of the boat sort of roped off, as you can see. So I couldn't go to the front section. I couldn't go over here. So they kind of made me go this way. So I guess they're just controlling the flow of people so that the boat doesn't get overcrowded in one area. Maybe it's even a balance thing, you know, they don't want everybody sitting on one side of the boat. So yeah, I approve of that. It was funny though, when I came out there, I was wondering about the porters, because they were so eager to help me with my bicycle, as I talked about, that it's clear, you know, they're hoping they're going to get paid for their services at some point. But then they took all my bike and gear away without asking me for money. And I kind of assumed they'd be waiting for me here, and they were. So when I finally came down to the door to get on the boat, I could see my bike and my trailer and my bag was all sitting there. And then the guys came up to me, says, and they brought me over and showed me the bike. It says, okay, you know, you think we did a good job? And I said, yes, thank you very much. And then he said, money. So of course I gave them some money, and they were quite happy with the amount I gave them. So everything went swimmingly, and I was able to take a second look at my bike and my trailer. So I moved the wheels of my trailer to the proper position in the back. I had time to do that, so it's easier to roll on board. And my bike, they don't put it down in the cargo hold. They just left it up here in the entryway, you know, from the doors. So yeah, and it's not super crowded or anything. I've got a whole, right at the moment, you know, this whole row to myself. When I took the ferry last time, I don't think I even sat down. I just kept walking around. I would sit out in the entryway, right on the luggage compartment platform. I just sat there because I was wandering around, taking video all the time, going outside, shooting 360 video, and I never really just sat down in a seat. So, and it didn't even occur to me to sit at a window this time. I guess I'm that blasé about these things these days. I just sort of sat down here in the back, and I didn't even try to find a window seat or anything like that to look out the window. Because yeah, boats, once you get out in the ocean, you don't see anything anyway. All you ever see is water. And I can go outside. That's the door back there to kind of men use that as the smoking area. And that's pretty much the only place you can go to get outside. Whew. Yeah, kind of exhausting. Just the whole process. Mainly because I had the bike and all the extra luggage, you know. I think if you showed up here with just a backpack or something, things would be a lot smoother, you know, a lot less chaotic. So, well, I'm gonna check my phone, check for messages, because I think I still have an internet connection right now. But as soon as we start moving, of course, I'll be out of touch with people. So, yeah, I'm gonna settle in and enjoy the ride. Well, we've arrived. It was a lot faster than I thought, actually. 2.5 hours from port to port. And I didn't shoot any of the ocean as we were going across, but there's a, you know, little view outside the porthole of the boat. I'm here in Port Dickson in Malaysia. There's the water. This back part of the boat is full of smokers all during the trip to get here. It was just jammed with people. They stayed out there for the whole trip. Last time I did this, I went out there and shot some 360 video and played around with my cameras, but not this time. And yeah, we're slowly, takes a long time. Like I said, it took 2.5 hours to get here, but we've been sitting at the dock for an hour already because they have to unload all the luggage first, and then you just wait on the boat because all the luggage goes out the same door as the passengers. So they take all the luggage out first, and then section by section they let us out, and it looks like my section is being allowed out. Yeah, I'm curious where I'll be reunited with my bicycle, because on the Indonesian side I had to get my bike as soon as I got off the boat, so I had my luggage with me as I was going through immigration. Made it really awkward. But here I'm hoping I can go through immigration first and then go track down my luggage. We'll see how it works out. And there's the name of the boat, the Majestic Kawanua, Hawaiian name. Yeah, I don't know if it was faster than the boat I took last time, but it felt fast. It really moved along. It was very much like being in an airplane. Yeah, this is the type of boat that I took last time. This is what I was on when I went before. You'd think it would be just as fast, but I don't know. I don't remember it. I thought it was a longer trip than 2.5 hours. I'm curious what it's going to feel like being here. Like the first day you're somewhere new, everything feels different. You see it with fresh eyes. And I'm curious if it will feel really different from being in Sumatra. Or, I mean, will it feel like a big change or not? Somehow I think it will. Yeah, I mean, if I had a choice, I would have stayed in Sumatra another 3 or 4 months if I could have. But yeah, your visa expires and out you go. Well, I'm here in Malaysia, outside the port building. I think this is the exit, yeah. Finding your way out is always a bit of a challenge. Finding your way out of anywhere.
Oh, very good.
Oh. Yeah, that was a bit of an experience. As I said, the boat ride itself was smooth and fast. I feel like I'm riding against traffic here. Why is everybody parked on that side of the road? Hello. Yeah, as I said, the boat ride to get here was smooth and fast, and I didn't really treat it like a big event. I just found a seat and I sat in it until the boat docked. I never went outside even once to shoot any video of the ocean. Just wasn't really in the mood. I was just more in the mood to make the crossing, and here I am. I remember in the old days, there was a boat that went from Klang to Tanjung Balai, and I used to go back and forth on that ferry, but it was an older one, and it was a lot more interesting in a way. It was like a floating village, an old rickety kind of boat, and it was a very social atmosphere. You could buy all kinds of snacks and drinks, and there would be people on the boat who made a living going back and forth, and they were changing money, selling SIM cards, and they provided a service to give Indonesian migrants, you know, a big stack of cash that they could borrow temporarily just to get through immigration, you know, to prove they had enough money to support themselves. They had to have a minimum amount, and then once they went through immigration, they give the money back. So yeah, there's just a lot of activity, a lot of things going on. A boat like this, a modern one, it's really just like sitting on a jet, you know. It's just like flying basically, except you're on water. So it's not quite as interesting. But having said that, there was a lot of movement. I guess I chose my seat unwisely, which I always do. I chose a seat way at the back by the doors that go to the smoking area. Plus they're right beside the bathrooms. And for whatever reason, everybody on the boat was like super mobile. Because nobody would stay in their seat. Everybody was just roaming all over the place all the time. And the boat seemed really crowded. But I just lost myself in the podcast I was listening to, closed my eyes, and before I knew it, we were here. For some reason, I was expecting it to take 4 or 5 hours, but it only took 2.5. Then an hour of sitting on the boat as they unloaded the luggage and tied up the ropes and things. And then we all started getting off the boat. And I'd say 90% of the people on the boat were Indonesians. A lot of them were migrant workers. They're coming here for jobs. So they had pretty complicated paperwork and stuff like that. And so they did a very nice thing, for me anyway, that they took all the Indonesians that they knew were gonna take a long time to process, put them in one really long, big lineup, and then people like me, a traveling tourist, and then people with Malaysian passports, they just, you just go right up to the front. So I bypassed the, 300 people and went to the very front, and I had a little chat with the immigration guy. The trick seems to be to always mention that you're going home. They kept asking me, like, where are you going? How long are you going to stay? And I'm telling them I'm on sort of a bicycle tour and going here, going there, trying to assure them that I plan to leave Malaysia. And they're listening to my story, but what they're really waiting for is for me to say, and then I go back to Canada. I talked to one guy in the line. He was interrogating me before I got to immigration. He wanted to hear my whole story. He was like pre-screening me. And then I could tell he was waiting for something, waiting. And then he's like, well, then Canada? And I says, yes, then back to Canada. Oh, okay, then you're all right. So that taught me the lesson. And when I went up to immigration, he said, okay, where are you going? And I said, I'm riding my bike. And then I'm going to ride my bike I don't really know what I'm going to be doing, to be honest, but I said I'll be, riding my bike up through Thailand and maybe Cambodia. And then I said, and then he said, after that? It was always after that. And I says, well, after that, I go back to Canada. And he says, oh, okay, good. And then he stamped my passport. So that's the key thing. Everybody wants you to go home, especially immigration. Just aiming my camera forward now. I mentioned on the boat, I really wanted to pay attention to how it feels to be back in Malaysia. How does it feel compared to Sumatra? And right away, there's a big difference just in terms of being on the road. I mean, obviously, this road that I'm on right now is in far better condition than anything I was riding on in Sumatra. Really nice, smooth pavement. There's no bumps, no potholes. Feels wider. Like even this road is only a 2-lane road, but it feels wider, and the traffic is not the same. Indonesia, Sumatra was nothing but giant trucks. And you just get used to those trucks and the roar of traffic. But here, so far, of course, no trucks. This is just a regular city street. Whereas in Indonesia, there was no distinction. All the traffic was on all the streets. There was no segregation, no division. But here, of course, I'm sure there are tons of trucks traveling around Malaysia, but they're not on this road. They're on highways and other roads, right? So that's the main difference that I'm feeling right now. And of course, it's a lot emptier. Leaving the docks in Sumatra, you're going to be surrounded by little restaurants and food stalls and people selling snacks from motorcycles, scooters, just tons and tons of activity at the side of the streets. Here in Malaysia, of course, there's none of that going on. Looks very much like Canada to me, riding down this road, except for being on the left side of the road. I could be riding my bike in Canada. So I don't have very far to go. I just have to get to my hotel, and I booked a hotel right here in Port Dickson. And after I got the stamp of approval from immigration, then I just had to go to the baggage claim area, which thankfully was on the other side of immigration. And then I had to gather up my trailer and my 2 pannier bags. And then things get a little bit complicated when you're trying to navigate through a building with a bicycle. So I guess I could have done it in stages. Maybe that would have been the easier way, just to take a trailer out, park it, then bring the bike out, then bring the pannier bags and assemble it all outside. That would have been the easier thing to do. Hello. But I don't know. I'm never sure whether with a building like that, with all the security, once you go outside, can you get back in again? So I just assembled my bike right past the baggage claim area. It was basically just a narrow hallway with very little space. And I got a little bit flustered doing that. I didn't want to block anybody else's way. And you're trying to keep track of your passport and all your bags and your valuables, your cameras. So it was a little bit crazy getting out of the building. And then once I had the trailer attached, my bike is not so maneuverable inside buildings, so I suddenly found it was harder to Oh, I think this is my hotel already. It's to turn corners and things like that. It's like driving a transport truck, and I couldn't make it around the tight corners. But there it is on the right. That's the Seafront Hotel. I'm already here. Just gonna stop over here for a second, take a look at the water. Oh, it's one nice thing about the seafront. The name doesn't lie. It sits right on the seafront. And one thing I remember about this hotel from before, which made me book it again, is that it's kind of large, spacious entryway. And if I can get a room on the first floor, it'd be easy just to roll my bike inside. And I was very curious how the weather was going to feel, because it was really hot in Sumatra the last little while. And it feels a little bit cooler here. It's still humid, but there it is, blue and yellow and orange seafront. Yeah, people at the immigration, the port, they did seem to remember me from before, but I'm not entirely sure. I think they did, but I'm not 100% sure. All right. Going to check in. All right, slowly but surely, continuing with the differences that I feel between Sumatra and here. A big difference is just how much more official everything is here. Like checking into even this hotel, you know, it's a low budget, very basic kind of place. But then checking in is much more serious, where all the forms have to be filled out with addresses and phone numbers and passport numbers. And of course we have the absolutely dreaded Malaysian tourism tax, which always leads to so much confusion, because now most of the Agoda bookings that I make, it includes the tax. So I've already paid the tourism tax in advance, but of course when you check in, they say, okay, now we need to collect the tourism tax from you. And then you're telling them, no, I've already paid, and now you have to show them the receipt, and they've never seen one of those before, but now I've got to enter him into my WhatsApp so that I can send him a copy of the receipt, and I don't know, it's just a lot, you know. Yeah, a lot of officialdom here, which in Sumatra, quite often it was, I show up and they give me the key to the room, and that would be, you know, that would be the end of it, which of course I like a lot. But okay, this is my room. Nicer than I expected. It's nicer than the other room I had here. Yeah, double queen bed or whatever that is. Some furniture over here. And I love having any kind of a bedside table. And then, you know, you can tell it's a low budget place because a sliding door for the bathroom, but you know, hot water heater. And then there's the bathroom, and look at that. I originally booked a room with 2 twin beds because I kind of like having one bed to sleep in and then one bed to lay out all my gear. But as I was checking in, he said to me, he's like, oh, you're just one person. Would you like, you know, can I change you to a different room, you know? And he said it's kind of an upgrade, but he upgraded me to this room, which has, you know, the queen size bed, and it has the, you know, sea view. I can actually see the sea. Anyway, I've got to go back out and bring my bags and my bicycle in and get the Wi-Fi password and all of that. And I'm afraid, yeah, that's the end of today's small adventure. That's the end of my journey. Yeah, everything went smoothly, more or less, you know. What time did I mean, I woke up early this morning, as I always do. I mean, I was up at 5 a.m., but I didn't leave from my hotel until like 8:30, I think. And then I was down at the port at 9:30, something like that. The boat left at 11, 2.5 hours later, arrived at the dock, 1 hour waiting, and then maybe another hour to finally get here, go through immigration, get here, check into my room. So that's it. Pretty easy journey. Nothing went wrong along the entire way. But yeah, I'm in a weird mood though now being here. I don't know if this is something that happens over time, but I have this thing that happens now where, like, I was just in, I came here a long time ago, months and months, like over half a year ago, I was here. And then I took the ferry to Sumatra. And then I've been dividing my time between Sumatra and Kuala Lumpur, going back and forth. And now my time in Sumatra is over, and I'm back here where the journey began, at the PD Seafront Hotel. And it's like that entire chunk of time, all of those months in Sumatra, the months in KL, it's like none of it happened. It's like it's just gone. It feels like I came here and now I'm still here. Like that whole chunk of experiences, all that time, it feels like it's gone, if that makes any sense at all. Like it never happened. I know all those things happened, all the places that I saw in Sumatra, and yet somehow now that I'm here at the same hotel where the journey began, it feels like I never went anywhere. It's just kind of weird. Time starts to behave oddly, I find. Anyway, I don't often say that I miss places. It's not the first thing that jumps into my mind, but now I find that I do. It's like, I kind of miss Sumatra. I want to get back on the boat and just be back there. The only reason I came here was my visa was expiring and I didn't really have a choice. If I could have stayed longer, I would have. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind still being there. Just something about the atmosphere, I guess, all the activity, the stuff going on everywhere. I kind of like that. I like that atmosphere. And Malaysia is very nice. But, if I spin my GoPro around, there's the world around me, which is largely an empty one, except for that road out there with the traffic on it. But yeah, it's just a different environment, a different atmosphere, And I kind of miss that wild and chaotic environment of Sumatra, now that I'm here. But hey, there are many good things about Malaysia too, so I will do my best to dive into those. There it is from the outside, the Seafront Hotel. I'm very pleased that I'm staying here once again. And it's in kind of a strip mall. I haven't had anything to eat here. I don't know if it's ever open, but there's like a chendol place right here. And a couple of shops. And when I was here last time, I had a meal at a street side restaurant in the next parking lot over. They have martabak and different things. I'm going to head there for dinner right now. I haven't unpacked yet. I just moved everything into my room. And the first thing I wanted to do was arrange to have data on my SIM card for Malaysia. And of course, since we're talking about my life, total technology disaster. I don't really understand it because I went into my Digi account and I had money in my Digi account, of course, before, but I think this must be illegal. But the way these telecoms companies work, when you have money in your account, it has a time limit on it. Your money expires. So of course, all the money I had in there before is all gone. My money reached its expiry date and they just took it. So the account was at zero. And I thought, instead of going to 7-Eleven or someplace to buy credit to reload my account, I thought I could do it through my touch and go eWallet. I'm trying to get more modern, do these things the modern way. So turns out it worked. I went to my Digi app and said I want to reload 30 ringgit. And then I chose to pay from my touch and go e-wallet. And then I just had to sign into my eWallet with my phone number and answer the security question. I've got that all figured out. And then I got a whole bunch of emails that says, successful. You have transferred 30 ringgit from your eWallet to your Digi account. I got all kinds of notifications saying that. And then I go to Digi and I have 16 ringgit on the account. I transferred 30, but only 16 showed up. And I have no idea where the other 14 went. There's no indication anywhere what I paid for. So I assume somewhere in there, there's some kind of a fee. I mean, everything expires, everything you do is a fee. Whenever you're moving money from one place to another, all these corporations just manage to take away some of it. So by the time the 30 ringgit got to my Digi account, it says 16 ringgit. And of course, that 16 ringgit is going to expire. You know, it has an expiry date. Anyway, I absolutely hate these telecommunication companies. They're so confusing. To me, they're so confusing to the point of being criminal. Like even when you go into their, like you want to buy more data, the various plans they have, it's sort of like going to Las Vegas, where all the games are slanted in favor of the house. You know, they're just statistically the house always wins, and all these packages are worded. They're so complicated and so confusing that it just ends up ripping you off, basically. I really hate these companies. But anyway, where the 14 ringgit went, because now the 16 ringgit isn't enough to buy the data that I wanted to buy, you know, the data package. So now I'm gonna have to transfer more money, but they're just gonna take more of it away. So how much money do you have to transfer before they stop stealing it from you? Anyway, my life and technology. But anyway, here's the place I wanted to go to for dinner. Yeah, Martabak. So to make myself feel better after all of my troubles with Digi and e-wallets and all that kind of stuff, came here to have a Martabak. I ordered your Martabak ayam, as well as a roti cheese and then some iced tea. And so there's the cooking area over there. Whoa, food is starting to arrive. That is roti cheese. And then I think these dishes go along with the martabak. The martabak isn't here yet, and my iced tea. Last piece of today's puzzle falling into place right there. Martabak. Looks good. I've been looking forward to this. I remember when I came here last time, I ordered a whole bunch of different dishes. I kind of forgot how big and how filling a martabak can be. So I ended up with, I think I ended up with more food than I would normally have, you know? And martabak tends to have a lot of flavor. So I remember every time I've had it before, I'm always concluding that it really isn't a meal for one person, like to eat a whole martabak. It's something that you would order for a table and everybody gets one piece. Because it's like cut, you know, into 4 like pizza slices. And by the time one person eats all of it, it does tend to get a bit overwhelming in terms of the flavor. But we'll see. Let's see how this one tastes. I'm just gonna have this one on its own. I can't tell you if that's a good martabak or not. I'm no expert, but tastes good to me. It's filling. Get in there. So we'll try some with all the different sauces. Nice. Very spicy, but I could eat it up like soup. Add lots of flavor. Nice. Yeah, even when it comes to sauces, I have my own unique way of how I'd like to do it. I mean, you should dip it in the sauce, but I don't like to do that. It always ends up being really messy. So I like to take a big bite of food. And then get some sauce. You know, this is the, I don't know what it is yet. We're going to find out in a second. Nice. Yeah, this martabak really does need some of that sauce. So yeah, it all works, comes together quite nicely. A lot of flies here though. They're very brazen flies too. It's kind of funny how places stay the same. I was here, you know, last year I think that I was here. It was a long time ago. And my memory was fighting all the flies while I was here. And now that I'm here so much later, second time, it's exactly the same atmosphere and so many flies. And when you wave them away, they don't really leave your food. They just sort of ignore you. So you really have to stay on top of them. All right. One more bite. With some of this red sauce, some yellow sauce, some red beets, and I still have a whole bunch of cheese roti with mayonnaise. So I'm going to settle in, enjoy the meal, keep shooing away these flies. I'll check in afterwards to probably to end my day, end my journey. Funny how life goes around in circles. I'm back here, back at the same hotel, and Marta back at the same place, same flies. I forgot about the flies until I sat down and they started gathering, and then I went, oh yeah. That's why I didn't really like this place that much, just way too many flies. And then right across from that little restaurant, there's a convenience store where I can get dessert, little ice cream, chocolate vanilla ice cream bar. And I remember last time I was here, I bought a little bottle of super glue in that store right there because I had something I needed to fix. And here I am again. And then I went into that store because I have something else I need to fix. And I needed another bottle of super glue. So it's like, just goes around and around and around. I buy endless bottles of super glue. I always have so many things I need to repair. But anyway, that is it for today. Change countries. How often do you do that in your lifetime, right? Yeah, very cool. There's the ocean out there. The sun is getting lower in the sky. There's the water. And as I shut down this video for today, I will leave you with that view. I don't know if it's on the GoPro or not, but it looks really nice with that sun reflecting off the water. All right, that's it, and I'll see you in the next video.